Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another fantastic episode of Let's Play LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Because this is the introduction of a new episode, and because I wish to not get hit by a copyright claim, of course, during the title scroll here, I will have to talk very loudly and over everything. I will almost have to leave almost zero dead space if this is your first time visiting the channel. I normally am not this talkative. I do talk quite a bit throughout the Let's Plays, but normally not to this degree, but I do not wish to receive a copyright claim from a certain company that has a little mouse running all around it, and they tend to be quite picky. I've seen them pick up things on like Kingdom Hearts and things like that in the past. Pokemon tends to be that way as well, which are all hard-hitting Let's Plays that we play here on the channel, so really all that title scroll said was, post the events, the rebels have been tracked down to a base on Hoth, and that's where we'll be going to start this Let's Play series. So we'll be going to Hoth and meeting with the rebel alliances as we last left them in the last episode of the Let's Play. So as I said, this is the introduction of episode 5, as it's called there. Of course, for our Let's Play, it's episode 26. We're getting pretty far there. He's dressed up like a pizza delivery guy. And here's our rebel base on Hoth. Some guys playing with some snowballs there. And there's good old Han Solo. I do like riding those things. That's pretty cool. R2 and C-3PO are here. Everybody's concerned about Master Luke's whereabouts. What a great way to start the episode. We're already concerned and already lost Luke Skywalker. Which is a pretty big deal, because the last time we saw him, he blew up the Death Star, so I would say he's, if not the strongest member of our alliance here, he's in the top 3. I'm sort of beep-booping around here with R2-D2. But, no, it's been a really fun Let's Play series so far. So, I'm looking forward to see how this episode plays out in the LEGO format. From what I recall, at the time that I'm doing this, I actually just finished this whole episode 5, right? No, I think it did a really good job. I had a lot of fun with it. I also just finished episode 6, too, if I'm being honest, so nah. That's just sort of because I need to take a break, and I'm sure by this time, no, it might not be out, but we will be continuing and wrapping up Mario vs. Donkey Kong. That was something in the past I said I wasn't sure if I was going to do, just because of the sheer amount of time that it takes, but I think we could do that if I can get a bunch of them done. And then I may also have something coming out here for May the 4th in some Star Wars head nodding. So look out for that. There might be something very, very big on the channel coming out for May the 4th. I'm sort of working on it now. I have like the rough draft done, but it's something here that I've said that I was going to do for a while on the channel, and I want to hold true to that. But we'll see how it goes. Here we go. We're going to try and triangulate his location. I believe I left the first outpost that we go into and then the last outpost, but there are 3 in total. The middle one didn't... I mean, it was cool. We had to like set up some pieces to get to it and things like that, but I really sort of wanted to breeze past some of these spots because it does take a long time. It just takes time to get everything set up and, sort of put in place for us to unveil it. Let's go on this way with Han Solo. I forget what these... Oh, they're... Are they Tauntauns? That's what they're called. I'm 90% sure they're called Tauntauns. They're really cool creatures. That one just ran from me. So, apparently they're cool, but not cool with me. And we have to take out these guys. I think they just drop bombs on us. They don't really do anything huge. But, in lore context, they would be telling the Emperor, or the Empire, where we are. Which brings up a good point. it's kind of interesting. Like, I get the feeling that this game really wants you to play it in sequence of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? Like, that's the layout and the vibe I sort of get from it. But it's very interesting that, like, because if you played that way, there is legitimately zero concern with showing you the Emperor early in the later films, even though he doesn't do much, if anything. But, you know, for those that are like Star Wars nerds like myself, when it comes to episodes 4, 5, and 6, you don't see the Emperor in those films until episode 6, I believe. So, like, it feels a little out of place, especially being as, like, you know, we've already seen him from 1, 2, and 3, that they wouldn't even have a comment back and forth. Maybe you see him in 5 briefly in the movie through, like, a hologram. Something tells me that Darth Vader calls him in episode 5 from, like, his little cubicle that he's hanging out in. Not a cubicle. Darth Vader doesn't have a 9 to 5, but you know what I mean. He goes into, like, this little spherical location, and I believe he calls the Emperor about... That may be very, very brief. Yeah, you know what? I'm pretty damn sure he does that. But still, I don't think you see him at all.
We need to get to the top to recalibrate it.
In this Lego Let's Play from the last time we saw him in episode 3 up until episode 6, which is kind of bizarre, being as how big of a deal he actually is. He's sort of like, not the sole purpose, but it probably makes up about 90% of the reason why any of this stuff is happening. Right, because otherwise a good person could have just gotten charge. The war, maybe if he was still pulling the strings, would have started, but it likely would have ended a very different way. I don't know. That would be an interesting Star Wars what if. What if the Emperor never came to power? And another soda pop, baby. We're keeping him rolling tonight. It's actually only number 2. Normally I have 1 or 2 before I do the Let's Play episode, so we're on a lighter mood. Not that I would promote having lots of soda pops. Let's go over this way. This way, jump up here. It kind of feels odd, I almost get like stuck here. The red and green reminds me of the collectible buttons, but I don't think there's one up here. But then you sort of just need to, I think I cut it here eventually, you sort of just need to aim this, like where it's beeping, up in the sky. It takes me a minute or 2 to figure this out. I mean, you could take your time. The game will wait for you to figure it out. And then eventually it just sort of locks into place there. And then at the end of each of these, it'll give you, over here you can see the far right section,
That wasn't my stuff, but
Stay vigilant.
like a cable line or something like that, so you can get back down and traverse to the next stop. But that's sort of the flow. Like I said, you have to do that 3 times. I cut out the second one and like the early part of the third one. But here is how we get into the third one. I said I like to leave some bit of exploration up to you guys, but you know, I like to hit the highlights in each of these Let's Plays. I like to hit the highlights of the episodes and sort of the levels that we're working through. And this one was a pretty big one, because not only do we have this, but we are going to play it up until we find Luke Skywalker here, which is only a few minutes away, clearly, with the ending title being there. And with that being said, because there is only a few minutes left here, and we do have to track all the way back down there, if you like this episode, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. All that good stuff is greatly motivational for myself and continuing to make videos just like this now and in the near future. We'll be playing this series here, LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, right? Is that right? Let me double check that. That doesn't sound right. No, it's not. It's not right. We're playing it on Mondays and Wednesdays. What are you talking about, Average Joe? And we're playing Pokemon Black on Tuesdays and Thursdays, along with, like I mentioned earlier, Mario vs. Donkey Kong on Sundays until we finish that up. And then we'll be moving into some much newer content here following that. Maybe not much newer in terms of release dates or anything like that, but we'll be moving into some drastically different sort of stuff than we usually see here on the channel, I think, moving forward. I think Pokemon will remain the same, but Monday and Wednesday I definitely want to do something different. And Sundays, because it's longer content, I think once we finish up with Mario vs. Donkey Kong, we'll be moving into Halo 2. So I think I can officially announce that, because that is going to line up with my plans there. But yeah, lots of good stuff to look forward to on the channel, so if you're excited for any of it, like I said, please drop that in the comments below. And, you know, maybe if Halo 2 gets enough traction, we can even abandon Mario vs. Donkey Kong 2. No, obviously, it's one of those games that, like, I want to end it on a high note. It's going to be frustrating, but, like, I know we got to do it. Otherwise, people 2 years from now will be asking why we didn't complete it when we did the Let's Play, and then I'll have to come back and get to it because I'll be hell-bent on it at that point in time, so we got to get to it. But once we get enough of those, as you can see here, we finally have 3 markers up in the sky. We actually get the coordinates of Luke Skywalker. I think he's hidden behind, like, this ice block here. I didn't quite see it at first. You can see going over here. Clearly that's too far. Come on, Tauntaun. Carry me through, baby. This droid comes in. And does he try to hide in here? Yeah. So there we go. We get the sign of the Wookiee, or whatever the heck that thing is.
Like we have any other choice.
Bunch of ice lands on him. Luke is stuck to the ceiling by ice. Looks like he was captured. Tries to use the Force to grab his lightsaber, but grabs a bone. Couple more bones. Eventually his lightsaber. He's able to cut his feet down. I was surprised we didn't have, like, a mini boss fight here. That would have been cool. But we just cut his arm off, which is what happens in the film. He puts it back on this time, but we just rethrow ice in the way and slide out.
Ben, you will go to the Dagobah.
That's such a good moment.
There you will learn from Yoda.
I'm glad he's actually there, but that was really funny. That was a really funny way for this episode to end, but with that being said, I hope you appreciated this episode, and we hope to see you on the next one. Until then, as always, ladies and gentlemen, peace out, Girl Scout.